There we go. All right, as I was saying, yeah, the green screen will go up behind me, Bubba. It's just something real simple. You can do blue or green, and it'll just chroma key it automatically over the top of it.
Okay.
But for anybody coming in or anybody that's going to be watching this later, I want to welcome y'all. This here is we're trying to get back into doing our Talking Point Thursdays. I got Stacking Points with me, and well, we're just going to talk about a little bit of anything and everything. I mean, we both are kind of in the stacking community. We're also in the prepping community as well. You know, kind of hang out there, and there's a lot of information that needs to be going on everywhere. So we are going to be getting into it in just a moment. Yeah, we have Dusty Data in the house, the man himself. Thank you for joining us, brother. Going to be talking a lot about inflation going on when it comes to, I kind of want to stick more towards the food area and stuff like that, but I mean, there's a lot of things going on that we can cover here. So we got Stacking Points, silver piece up there. Looks like
Silver.
looks like some sterling there.
Yeah. I actually made this the other day too. Actually, it was a piece that I had poured that was really cool, and I made it for somebody, and then they didn't end up actually wanting it, so I flattened it. This is a huge piece now. This thing was like, let me give you a size comparison. Let me show you what it used to look like. It used to be one of these. Now it's one of these.
Should have kept that hammered look to it, Bubba. That a lot of people really, really like it. What's going on, Native? Successful Slave. The madman himself is in the house. For anybody that ain't been over there to resub to the Maddest Stacker, please get over there and give his new channel a subscribe. We got to get this brother back up past 1K. He more than deserves it. So definitely get over there and give him that thumbs up and all that.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
This really doesn't make sense to me. See, like this piece right here. See that gold bar there?
Yep.
This is the platinum bar. You see how much smaller it is? Like that doesn't that seem like not right to you? Because they're about the same denseness. Like these two coins, this is 1/10 of an ounce, and this is 1/10 of an ounce, and they're about the same size.
Yeah. Are both of the others a gram, I guess?
Same thickness too. But this bar, this gold bar, is like twice the size of this platinum bar. They're both supposed to be a gram.
Well, I know that I know platinum is supposed to have like a higher density, I guess, when it comes. I mean, you know, its actual weight is heavier than a smaller package, I guess would be a better way of saying it. Successful was that, or excuse me, Native was actually asking Bub how much silver is that? Native, you have to let us know. Were you talking about the round there or the bar that he was doing, the sterling or the 4/9 piece? And yeah, I see Mad's even saying the same thing. Platinum is more dense. Good afternoon, Sarge. Nice to see you, my friend.
Yeah, but this one's 1/10 of an ounce, and this is 1/10 of an ounce. This is platinum, and this is gold, and they both are almost exactly the same size and thickness. Like, yeah. So understand why this one, these are both 1/10 of an ounce rounds, and they're relative to the same size. When it comes to this one, this 1 gram bar and this 1 gram bar, I mean, the size difference is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I know with the American Gold Eagle there as well. I mean, platinum, I think holds its. I don't think they really mix anything with platinum, to where I know at least with the Gold Eagle they got a little bit of copper and silver mixed in there with it. I mean, it's still the right amount of gold for its size and everything that it says, but overall, kind of like the bigger pieces, you know, there's a little bit of other stuff mixed in there, so that way, because you know, pure gold is so much softer. Let's see here. What's going on, Monty? Thank you for joining us, brother.
Huh. But yeah, this one right here is like almost 26 grams. I think it's 20. Let me weigh it real quick. Hold on.
He said the one at first on that too, so I think he's talking about the bar there, the sterling silver.
Yeah, the round is 24 and the bar is 25. Yeah, this was the first time I actually put it horizontally. Usually I put the lettering on the bars this way. This time I did it across the board.
Yeah, Sarge is saying, I guess he checked out Serendipity Diamonds, and they're saying platinum is approximately 11% heavier than fine gold. So that's also fine gold. So you know, like I said, with them mixing in stuff with the on the Gold Eagle and all that as well. And yes, Native, he is a pourer. He does all kinds of different pours, bars, rounds. You know, got his own stamps and set up and all that as well.
I made this one for my wife.
You get a chance, get over there and check him out. He you know, he does furnace videos as well, to where it actually shows him doing the pours. There's a bunch of people out there that have got, you know, different things like that. I'll have to go through sometime and kind of do a video just to let everybody know who all is pouring in the stacking community over on the prepping side of things. But because there's a bunch of them, though, it'd be a long list.
I stamped this one with one of the stamps I got the other day. See the moon on it?
Mm-hmm.
The moon. I was pretty happy with the way that stamped out. With this one, like the indentation doesn't really seem like it's deep enough. You know, I mean, you can see it on there, but I don't know. See these ones up here, how defined it is, or how.
Oh, I know what you're saying. That was like when I first got those ones from you, and then I stamped them myself. You know, there's Sis's one there, and there we go.
Yeah, you did a good job on those.
I mean, you can tell how that thing's already toned out and got quite a bit of color to it. Of course, it'd help if I pull it away a little bit, too. I'm getting used to this new camera. It's actually my wife's. She was originally got it for schooling, and I kind of nabbed it for right now. But no, I mean, we got anybody that, let's see here, LNW Show. Nice to meet you. I do not believe I've seen that name before, so thank you for joining us. If you don't mind, not just this channel or Stacking Points over here, but actually everybody in chat. Silver Prepping Grandma, nice to meet you. I have actually just I heard your name the other day. Let's see here. I believe it was Pilgrim that was talking about he won something from you, and that was his first piece of winning. So thank you for that as well. And I will definitely be getting over there. I meant to do it when I talked to him, but it was late when I got off. And I will get over there and sub to your channel as well. Show's been around. Okay, man. I appreciate that.
Got a new wallet the other day. The Ridge wallet. It's supposed to protect your cards from the RFID thieves or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They got that device that steals your information or whatever. It's got a money clip on the back of it.
Yeah, I got to looking at some of those, and the price that, I don't think it was that company, but it was kind of the similar idea. And the price they were wanting for that wallet was like, no.
What was it?
I think it was like $160 for one wallet.
Yeah, see, I only paid $70 for that one.
Yeah, that's a little more reasonable. Silver Scorpion, what's up, brother?
Now, what's up, man?
And I left it sitting in the other room. Shoot. I meant to grab one on his channel the other day, and he was very cool and sending me a Silver Scorpion round. If I read it right, it's about 1.5 ounces, and I sure as shit left it in the other room. Oh, well. Next time, brother. Let's see here.
It's a piece I made the other day.
Yeah, it's like Well, I know Mask Man does all that 3D printing. For anybody that hasn't seen it, we're just right here on hand. I've got this piece right here. He 3D printed.
Yes, I did stamp that Omega on that bar, and it is copper, dusty.
But that there's 3D printed out of Mask Man's machine. So there's a bunch of them out there now that are pourers are taking their 3D printers and making stuff like this, and then doing the molds and pouring into them like that. So there's a lot of people out there with some amazing stuff. And for anybody that's here from the prepping community, I see we got 11 watching at the moment. Definitely recommend, always will recommend, go over and check out everybody in the stacking community. Great people, honest for the most, you got bad people everywhere. So, if I say for the most part, there's them couple people that always ruin everybody's party, but everybody else are great people. And I cannot speak highly enough of the stacking community, truthfully. Always out to try to help everybody else. It's not a matter of, I'm right, you're wrong. It's a matter of how can we help each other, which is the way it should be. Yep, support your local pour artist. Unfortunately, Stacking Points isn't quite close enough to me. He is, however, another Missouri native. So just like Hutch over in the prepping community, and we got a lot of great people here in Missouri. I recommend Missouri to everybody, to be honest. It has its ups and its downs, but overall, a great place to be. That's what you got to keep doing, brother. No matter what happens, you just got to keep pushing forward. He tests those that can take the test, is the way I've always looked at it. If you're being tested, it's because he knows you can take it, and do what you got to do and dust yourself off, get back, keep going again.
So where do you think inflation's headed? Fed's thinking it's transitory. And
yeah. Transitory in my rear end. It's going up. I mean, if you look at the price of everything, I mean, shoot, we went out last night, as a matter of fact, and just went ahead and nobody felt like cooking or anything like that. It's like, well, we haven't eaten out in a bit. We're going to go ahead and eat out tonight. So we went out and got, my wife and I got Mexican, the next town over here. And normally we can get a whole bunch of, like 3 different large chicken, cheese, and rices, and other side dishes and all this and that. And I mean, when we do all that, it's, it's about $30-ish or whatever, somewhere in that area. We went last night and she got one, I got one, and that was pretty well all we got. And it come out to, you get a discount per cash price, and we still paid $40 and change.
Yeah, I pay $50 or $60 every time I go out to eat. It's ridiculous.
And I mean, that was just mine and hers. We went ahead and went to the McDonald's for the kids, because here in the household we got 5, got 6 total. The eldest is in the next town over there. But
kids love McDonald's. It doesn't matter. We go to the nicest restaurant in town, and they won't eat. They just want McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't really care for McDonald's at all. For everybody, I'm sure, can guess all the reasons, but it's what makes them happy. And at the moment, that's kind of what we go with if we're going to eat out. Let's see here. I know it's there. He is, Ghetto Prepper. Sorry, Bubba, I was in the middle of talking. Nice to see you in here. I appreciate it. And I know he put down talking points there, but that's stacking points if you go looking for his channel.
I put this set together. This is one of my favorite sets I got, this 1943 set. That's a mint condition 43. And then that's a proof 43 and quarter there. And that's an uncirculated war nickel there. And that's an uncirculated 43 steel cent. And that particular mercury diamond right there is my favorite diamond in my entire collection. It's toned in all the right places, and the strike is just really beautiful. You can still see the hair coming out of the cap right there on the side of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, I've got well, it was who did I grab that off of? Gleason News did a little bin video a while back, and he got there was a couple different penny sets. It was like the first Lincoln cent, and then one over the steel penny cent, and the steel one came with two that are absolutely mint condition. I mean, it's one of the things that needs to go up on a wall behind me here, but I just haven't gotten a frame or anything yet.
Can't get my phone to set up right.
Yeah, you talking about North Cuba there. Cuba's been getting pretty crazy from what I've seen here recently. And not only them, but I was watching earlier in Southern Africa is just as well. I mean, they even had citizens shooting on their own citizens here recently over all the things that are going on there. And, we complain about a lot of stuff here in America, and don't get me wrong, we all have our own problems, but we definitely have it a whole lot better here than what they do everywhere else. Have a good day, Silver Prepping Grandma. It was nice to meet you, and I will definitely get over there after this. And
check this out. This is a laser I got out the other day.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Pretty powerful.
That's very cool.
Woo. Shit. Oh God, Jesus Christ! Yeah, this is the first ounce borer that I owned.
Very cool.
And this is the first 10-ounce borer I owned.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. I definitely appreciate it. You guys have you a great day.
Let's see some of your food, man. See some of your Poor Patriot stuff.
Yeah. Well, we were talking on the phone, and I got it sitting down here beside me just to make sure.
I got another one of these the other day.
But it was that 72-hour kit that you were talking about, where they had sent me 2 of them, because they had messed up. And for anybody, that obviously doesn't know the story, because it was just stacking points and I talking on the phone, I had ordered this a while back, and somehow they accidentally double charged or something like that. And I called them up wanting to know, hey, what's going on? And they were like, oh, we are so sorry. So they refunded the money, for the second one and everything. And I think they even took the tax or something off the first one and added it all in and refunded that. But they still had already sent 2, and they were like, hey, we sent you 2, you keep them. It was our screw up. We're sorry. They did. And they've got a lot of great deals going on right now. I know even the Hodge twins and all that are promoting their stuff. This is just a little bitty kit, but that's 2 different 72-hour kits. But the way inflation's going, I definitely recommend everybody having. Well, I'm gonna get more into. I want everybody to have all kinds of stuff. We'll see you later, Dusty.
Yeah, later, Dusty.
But everybody needs some food to be set back. Now, I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of videos coming up here soon, because I've got well over 200 jars just sitting there waiting on me. But the kids actually made this. This is last year's. They made pickles. Now, these here are actually spicy dill pickles. That there is a pepper. Oh, I'll get it turned right. In there with it, along with some other spices and all that. But they got to enjoy that because they were the ones that got to cut it up and, throw everything in the jar and pour in this and do that. So they got to be involved and get to see how it works. And, the only thing they didn't do, of course, we water bath those instead of pressure canning because of, how acidic it is using all the vinegar and stuff. But so they did everything except for the boiling. Matt, it really depends. I've even personally eaten stuff that has been well beyond 5 years of being canned, and it was good. I mean, my grandparents canned all the time, and there was every once in a while. I mean, everything usually got rotated, but every once in a while, a jar got kind of kicked off to the side or something like that, and go to move a bunch of stuff around to redo stuff, and find it like, oh no! So that was the first one opened, and it was always still good. I mean, as long as the seal on the top is good, what's inside of it should be good. This right here, you can hear me smacking the top, but if that pushes out to where you can actually push down on it, then the seal has been broken and air has gotten inside there, and then it's no longer. I would definitely smell it first. Always use your best judgment, even like with store-bought canned stuff. If you open it up and it smells bad, I wouldn't eat it. Now, I mean, some of that stuff, like a bunch of the meats that you buy, all of that'll go for at least 5 years for the most part, just for the best by date. And for anybody watching that hasn't checked it out, and please do your own research on this as always. Don't take my word for it. Put a little effort into it and check things out for yourself. The more you learn, the better off you are anyway.
Yeah, the Augustin Farm stuff, I didn't really actually mean to specifically buy their particular merchandise. They just happened to be at the Walmart for $20. So every time I go there, I try to, not every time I go there, but every time I see that they're in stock, I try to grab another one and, just to get my.
Well, go ahead.
Just to get my inventory up.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to say, since you're talking about Augustin Farms there, I was looking around, and Amazon's actually got them kind of in the forefront right now. And a lot of their stuff is, on the cheaper side. And from what I've seen in the taste testing anyway, they're higher up there on the taste test. Some of that really gourmet stuff, you're going to pay gourmet prices. And some of that cheap stuff, well, it's going to probably taste more like cardboard. But, I mean, they're a good taste for a great price from what I've seen.
I've never actually eaten any of the emergency food. I should probably do that, huh?
Yeah, if you haven't tested them, I definitely recommend it. They used to have like little barbecue sandwiches there at Walmart. There was kind of meant more, I mean, it was emergency food, but I kind of grabbed it originally with the mind of maybe going camping. And I kind of had that same thought. It's like, what if I get this out there and I don't like it? So I went ahead and opened it up and just tried it. And it was really good stuff. I ain't seen them since, unfortunately, but actually, speaking of Walmart, that's just like, oh yeah, these right here, the Mountain House stuff. Got several of those. Say again?
Is that the freeze-dried stuff?
Yes, this is the freeze-dried Mountain House. I've got several of these, and these are, well, the best by date on them, which once again, that's the best by date, not the actual finish date or whatever. Two of them are 2047, and the one here that says beef stew for some reason is 2027, which I'm wondering if that's a typo or I just got an old bag to start with, because with as much as the other ones are out on that. But yeah, canning stuff, Matt, with anything with the canning stuff, you can water bath a bunch of things as long as it has high acidity. The more acid that's in it, and if you even add a little bit more, then you can usually just water bath them. You don't actually have to have a pressure canner. Now, anything with extremely low or no acidity, meats like and like potatoes or green beans, corn, those kind of things, those have to be pressure canned, which there's more involved. But I mean, there's really not a lot to it, and there's just absolutely tons of information out there.
Yeah, all you gotta do is boil it in one of those big pots, and then the cans seal themselves.
Yeah. When you're water bathing, I recommend getting if you're just going to use a big pot, get you a little grate, or you can actually.
Yeah, the pressure cooker. I actually had a pressure cooker a few years ago when I was doing that stuff, but yeah, I think most of that stuff's good to go just putting in a pot and boiling it.
Sorry about that. Okay. kicked me out there for a second for some reason.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting either like a grate or like I said, you can take the canning lids themselves, the lid or the band, excuse me, not the lid. You know, the part that just tightens down onto the lid and tightens it to the jar, and you can set those in the bottom of the pot. So that way, when you set your jars down in there, they're not actually touching the bottom. Because if you have the bottoms of the glass jars touching the bottom of the pot, they can actually crack due to the excess heat coming, being transferred to them, not just coming through the waters, but coming through the metal.
Yeah,
And,
you gotta put a cloth or something in the bottom of the pan that you're boiling them in. Yeah, you can't just set the jars down in there.
yeah, that's why I'm saying you can actually use the bands from the jars, your excess bands, and set them down, and it will raise it up enough, and the water will get in between it and everything enough that it'll work out that way as well. But but yeah, it's really simple for a lot of it. And like I said, there's a ton of information out there. I've got all kinds of recipe books and stuff. Thankfully, I got stuff handed down to me from my grandparents as well. That's where my initial 200 jars came from, and then I had some from before that, and have gotten I think 8 cases or better after that as well. So
Using vitamin C as a preservative.
keep it longer than a week. I can see that. I know that there's like lemon or lime juice. If you ever cut up apples, and because after you bite into an apple or cut it up, give it 30 minutes to an hour and it starts turning brown. But if you actually take a lemon juice or lime juice and mix it in some water, and as you're cutting them up, just let them sit in that water and soak a little bit. It really won't add any of the taste, but then that fresh fruit will stay for quite a long time. I mean, it of course is going to vary with your climate and your humidity and all the other factors. But I would say at the very least 4 times longer. Instead of hours, it's going to be days that the fruit will stay. Just like you cut it. But let's see here. Sorry, I missed out on chat a little bit here. Thank you very much, Redneck. I appreciate that.
All right. Get this open here.
Yeah, it really depends on the seal. Every time you do canning, make sure that you clean the very lip of the jar very well afterwards. I recommend using a little bit of vinegar water on a towel and going around it real good, just to make sure it's clean and let it set for a second. Same with the seal on the bottom. A lot of people, well, for most part, you're actually supposed to boil your lids beforehand, so that way they're not only sanitized, but it helps soften that seal just a little bit to make sure it has a really good, connecting point when you put it down on the jar. Because then there's also there's a big argument over it. Some people don't actually leave the bands on the jars, which I understand that behind the concept behind that, because once it's sealed, you no longer need the band on the jar anymore, because it's actually the lid that holds it to and the pressurized, of all the air being taken out of it that holds it together. Now, I can see the idea behind it of leaving the band on as an extra precaution, but as some of the other people with the other side of the argument will tell you, sometimes leaving that band on can cause what would more or less be like a false seal, to where if that band wasn't on and things don't really holding the way they're supposed to, that lid would pop up to where it'll let you know that the seal is no longer good. But with that thing being cranked on there, because when you tighten the bands down, you're only supposed to just make them snug. And some people will strong arm them things to where, they're as tight as they can possibly be. And you're not supposed to do that. That actually will help in giving you false seals. So, I mean, it can be complicated, or, everything can be as complicated as you want to make it. And other times you can kind of take a seat back and trial and error a couple things. Because if you do that, and say the seal doesn't, because that was one of my favorite sounds when we did this. You know, had them all sitting on the towel afterwards when they were cooling off, and you get that pop. And that pop is that lid sucking down, and that metal, you know, making that little ting of that center spot. And that was just awesome to hear. The kids kept jumping up every time it happened. But I mean, if it doesn't do that, and you go back through, you know, after they've cooled off and one hasn't sealed, just use it. You know, I mean, some people will try to go ahead and reseal them, and I can see doing that as well. But if you don't have one open, just use it. I mean, you've got it there. It's your food. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Here's some of the bars I made yesterday that I haven't actually worked yet. Here's one I did work last night. I didn't actually get finished though.
Yeah, that's a nice chunky one there.
Yeah. Not as wide as this other one. By like that far. But you know, they're all different. I used a big hammer to do this one to save on time, and I think that, I don't know why, but it seems to work better to shape it if you use a small hammer. It takes a lot longer to use the small hammer, but for some reason it gets like, see how this one is like considerably thinner?
Well, what it comes down to is when you're bringing it in and you're compacting the metal. And the only reason I know this is from doing body fenders and stuff like that when I was a mechanic. But you're compacting the metal in a tighter spot instead of a larger surface area with that bigger hammer. You understand what I'm saying? So each time you do it, you're bringing the metal closer and closer together in a smaller range. It takes more work, but it gives you a finer product in the end as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. The more work you put into something, it shows for sure.
There's Pilgrim. What's going on, brother? Anybody that ain't been over there, definitely go check out his music. Got a lot of great stuff going on.
He does music?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool.
He got all kinds of stuff going on.
All right, bro. I'm gonna get up off here though. I gotta go up and give my kid lunch. It's been good though. I had fun.
All right, brother. I'm probably gonna go ahead and stick on here for a little while longer. I got a few other things to show up in the way of food and things like that. So, but I will holler at you later, brother.
Sounds good.
Wild West in the house. JH. Very cool to see everybody. For anybody that didn't see that, the person that was just up here with me, that is Stacking Points. He is a pourer out of Missouri. He goes ahead and does copper and sterling silver a lot of. And he's even got 3.9s and even 4.9 silver. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, 4.9s obviously is a little bit more fine. It's a lot harder to come by, to my understanding, and does hold a higher premium. But it, you know, you're getting extremely fine silver with that as well. So definitely get on over there and check him out. And since I ain't seen anything from him here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and shout him out again. Everybody, please get over and check out the Maddest Stacker. Now, that man right there, you know, fought with YouTube on a lot of different things, went through and jumped through all the hoops, and still couldn't get monetized after he went ahead and hit the 1,000 sub mark. So he said, forget it. And he went over and started a whole new channel, the Maddest Stacker. So anybody that used to sub or is still sub to Mad Stacker, take the time. Please get over there and subscribe to the Maddest Stacker. Wild West, if you don't mind, brother, could you do me a huge favor and throw his link up in the chat? And Wild West is another one, just like anybody in the chat here. If y'all aren't subbed to one another, please get over and give everybody a sub. You know, just show some support for everybody. I would really like to bring the homesteading, the prepping, the stacking community all together because, in my opinion, all we are is different branches of the same tree. We've got preparedness in mind. We just focus on different areas. And I think we can, the more we can bring everybody together, and impart that little bit of knowledge that we're a little bit more specifically keen on to everybody else, the more everybody's going to learn, the more everybody's going to benefit, and it's going to help everybody out a whole lot more. So definitely head over to everybody and give everybody, just a sub and a little like right quick. Make sure you leave some kind of interaction with the channel. A thumbs up, a comment usually is a lot better. But, otherwise YouTube likes to come in behind and, well, you sub to them, but you don't have any interaction. You must not actually be watching this channel. We're going to get you out of here. So anybody that's got a channel going on and you see your subs dropping down, that's usually what it comes down to. YouTube comes through and does a cleanup, and anyone that's subbed and doesn't have a interaction, we'll go ahead and boot them out of there for a while. And then later you get somebody saying, oh no, I thought I subbed to you. Sorry about that. Here I am this time. But that's all it really comes down to, is they did sub, they just didn't leave a comment or something, and then YouTube likes to play their little games. I lost 5 last week. I can believe that. About the time I hit 450 on my sub count, it kept jumping up to, I think it even jumped up to 456 at one time, and then back down into the 440s. It just kind of kept jumping around all over the place there for a bit. Let's see here. Hey, Johnny, nice to see you in here. I definitely appreciate you taking a moment while you're at work on jumping in here. We've Stacking Points actually just left. He was showing off all kinds of stuff. We were trying to talk, even though we really haven't talked about it much now that I think about it. I mean, we have in a way, but we were originally going to be talking about inflation. And I kind of wanted to stick a little bit more towards our food side of things, because as everybody's seen, food prices are going up, and they try to say it's transitory, and facts are facts. The prices aren't going to be coming back down. Even if their cost came back down, they're not going to bring the price back down, because they're just going to keep the money. And a lot of these bigger name food companies, truthfully, are starting to get owned by, large Asian nation. I know one of the biggest pork producers for us. They're the farms and all that are over here, and they own them. So seeing increases on everything, and you're right, it's going to just keep going up. We're going to go up on everything other than what really needs to go up. I actually had, let's see if I can bring it up here. Is it this one or this one? Okay. Bear with me for just a moment. I actually have, there it is. So I'll bring that down. Let's go to screen share. That there. Well, okay. Well, I was going to bring it up. It worked the last time around when I was doing this. I don't know why it isn't this time. I apologize, folks. I thought I had that set up to where it would let me do it. Well, anyway, I'll just tell you what I was going to talk about then. There is a graph that I'm looking at here. For some reason, it's not letting me bring it up. But it shows, it kind of shows inflation in a black line. And then everything under that line, it shows wine, liquor, soda, and beer. and everything kind of follows about the same line as what inflation itself does, but is at a lot lower level. Then above it, it shows dairy, apples, seafood, baked goods, eggs, ground beef, and bacon. And those have just went up just by a crazy amount over the top of what inflation itself has gone up. And all of it started about 96. So since 1996, inflation was about, with the way this graph is set up, I would guess about 10%, and that's where beef was. And in 2014, this graph is showing inflation being at about roughly 70%, to where the price on ground beef had gone up about 190%. So, I mean, once again, it's not going anywhere. Anybody that thinks that it is, I mean, let's see here. Sandwich in the house. Nice to see you. Need to get a small loan to get a yard bird now. Yeah, I can see that. I actually been really wanting to get some chickens for out here. We're not really allowed to have pets or anything on our property, and we live in town. But this town that I'm in, they kind of turn the other eye or turn the other cheek, however you want to look at it, when it comes to chickens here in town. As long as your neighbors aren't causing too much of a fuss, then they go ahead and let everybody get away with it. My neighbor over here across the street's actually got him a little flock going on. I've just out of habit, every time we get eggs, I save the cartons on them for anybody that does that, and just go ahead and let them have them, so that way they got stuff to put their eggs in. He got to talking to me, and I think we're going to end up doing a trade. I'm going to give him all the egg cartons I got, which I've got. We always get the 18s, and I think I've probably got every bit of 20 or better down in the basement. So, but he's going to give us a few eggs and stuff like that as well for those, which would be cool, because we house of 5, and the kids eat all kinds of eggs whenever we make them. My 9-year-old, he used to eat about 8 eggs at a time. Of course, he's the one that's type 1, and he can definitely put down some food, to say the least, which is a good thing. $5.87 for 5 dozen, and your portion. Now, is that per dozen, or is that for all 5? Because if that's for all 5, that's a great price for 5 dozen eggs, in my opinion. I mean, that's a great price, actually. $26 for 2 ribeye. That's kind of what it is around here. I think the last time I checked, they were decent looking ribeyes, and they were pretty good size, but they were right about $30. But yeah, I've already shown some for Patriot stuff. I kind of showed a jar of pickles that the kids did last year. You know, when it comes to canning, like I said, we're going to get more into canning a lot here very soon. Got to get a few things situated, and we're going to hit a few farmers markets, because unfortunately my stuff did not work the way I wanted it to. And we are going to be doing a fall garden, so I'm going to have y'all follow along with that for anybody that watches the channel. But, you know, so we're really going to be getting into canning, and I recommend anybody that hasn't picked it up yet, definitely do. Last year there was a big issue with supply. They actually put a halt on all of the canning supplies. They were still making them, they just weren't sending them out to anywhere for the big companies, you know, like Ball, and then there was Golden Harvest and Kern. All of those, to my understanding, have like the same parent company for the corporation, and they actually had put a hold on them up until March of this year, so that way they could get enough surplus to try to get everything going again for the canning season to start back up. For anybody that didn't see, these are the ones that the kids did that they absolutely just had a blast doing, and I recommend it because it's letting the kids get in on it. They're getting to make their own food as well, which is always a benefit. And they just had fun doing it, so they were learning and having fun at the same time. So it's going to stick around because they were having fun too. Now, for any of them that thinks these look a little funny, that's because these are actually spicy dill pickles. That's pepper in there with them as well. So, but definitely get you some long-term stuff. I recommend always having a pantry, your working pantry. And then beyond your working pantry, have your prepper pantry. And always keep things rotating. I go into these stores nowadays and you see people just stuffing stuff in the front. It's like they have not taught these new kids to stock shelves at all. Anybody that's ever worked anywhere, that's got a little age on them, knows that you always put the newest stuff to the back so the oldest stuff moves forward. So that way you're always eating the oldest stuff first and using the oldest stuff first. But unfortunately these days, I guess common sense isn't as common as what it used to be. Sorry, my wife is leaving, and I'm over here doing this, so I love you, babe. But I definitely recommend that. And also getting into, if you can, plan out your meals. Not just make them at home, but go ahead and plan them out. There is a channel called This Big Family Homestead, not this, just Big Family Homestead. And they go through, and every month they do like a printout sheet of all their meals that they're going to do for dinner at least. And then when they go shopping, they know that they've got to have everything for that meal. Because that's another part of it. How many of us have ever gotten out there and you're going to have something for supper, and at the last minute you're trying to get everything together and shoot, I'm out of this or I'm out of that. Well, we'll just deal with it tonight and we'll make something else. Well, when you go and doing your planning, make sure you know everything that's got to go in that meal down to the last thing. And then when you do your shopping, you have all of that. And even if you go and have to switch out this meal for another day, because you don't feel like eating that, you still have everything you need for that one meal for the next time around. So, it just helps in the long run. Somebody on Tribe's channel the other night was talking about, everybody doesn't talk about prepping anymore. They want to do this or they want to do that. Well, what really is prepping other than being ready for the next day? When it really comes down to it, we can prepare for SHTF, we can prepare for, an EMP and all this and other stuff that sounds so cool. But what really happens? People lose jobs. People break legs. People get sick. Just simple stuff. And being a little more prepared for when that happens gives us that cushion. Makes things a lot easier on us because we had the forethought, to think ahead and be ready for that. My grandfather always said, because I live down here in southern Missouri, that winter and tornado season comes every year. You better be ready for it. And it made a lot of sense. It's something very simple. Everybody thinks, well, yeah, winter. Well, back then here in southern Missouri, we actually got decent winters. And I'm actually from northwest Missouri, which here in a few weeks, hopefully, I'll get to show some video footage of that as well, and how things look up there. But my parents had told me stories of them being snowed in, not being able to leave the house for a week. So, everybody nowadays that, that literally lives day to day on their food, going out here or going uptown real quick and grabbing something for that night. If you can't get out of the house for a week just because you're literally snowed in, well, I'm sorry for you, you know. But I mean, prepping can be anything. Prepping can be buying an extra box of Band-Aids, just something as simple as Band-Aids. You never know. Kids that week may have all kinds of bumps and scrapes and this and that, extra than what they normally have. Come in handy, I often tell my kids that it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And for a lot of people, well, that's selfish. Well, I can see that side of it up to a point as well. But if it comes to my kids doing without because I didn't take the initiative to get for them ahead of time, and they have to go hungry or they have to do this or that, then I guess I'm going to be selfish, And as many people out there as that might upset, so be it. That's your problem. I mean, I'm going to kind of quit being a little so tiptoeing around the whole touchy-feely, feelings thing. And there's a lot of stuff out there these days that needs to be said. Facts don't care about your feelings. But anyway, before I start ranting on that, let's get back into the chat here. Let's see here. Man, well, good to see you, Heads or Tails. Yes, sir, Tennessee. Tribe is the man. No doubt about it. Perplexed mind. Nice to see you. See here. PE Stacker. Thank you very much. I was actually going to be sending you an email. Silver Scorpion sent me a win from his channel, that Silver Scorpion round. And for anybody that doesn't know, because I haven't been able to make a video yet, that's going to be coming, Saturday. I haven't gotten the email on that yet either, but I'll have to talk to him later. But PE Stacker sent a quarter grain, excuse me. Let me say it correctly because there is a difference. A quarter grain of gold with it in one of the cards. This isn't the one. I just happen to have one on hand. But that's kind of what it looks like. His is a lot cooler looking. These were for Valentine's Day that I got for the kids. But it is a quarter grain gold bar. And his is very similar to that. But his is on a black card. These here can fit in your wallet. And they come with their own COA information on there that can be looked up and stuff to prove that the gold is real. So PE, thank you very much for adding that to it. That was awesome. That really was. Truthfully, I think that is the second piece of gold I have ever won altogether. My very first was my very first win off of Papa Spare Time. I think I've just probably screwed up saying that channel's name. But once again, folks, for anybody that is in chat, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't yet and you're enjoying any of this content, go ahead and hit the subscribe. If you don't, that's fine. I understand. But do me a favor and please go to everybody else in chat and give their channel a subscribe. Everybody in the communities absolutely need the support. Well, not need. They deserve the support. Everybody out there is either a great person or is trying to share information with the community that they're in to help everybody out. Now, I would really like if we could get the prepping community, the homesteading communities, the farming communities, the stacking communities, all of us kind of interact with each other a lot more for the simple fact of, in my opinion, I'll say it again, we're nothing more than different branches of the same tree. We are trying to go ahead and be prepared for the next day, for our future, for our kids' future. Let's see here. What's going on, Plumber? Nice to see you. Gleason News in the house. Thank you very much, brother, for stopping in. Farmer Son Prepping. Great to see you as well. So once again, anybody and everybody that's in the chat, if you don't care, go ahead and just go to everybody else in the chat and give them a subscribe. I would sit here and I'd start sharing stuff with you, but obviously my screen is not wanting to, I don't know why, but it's not wanting to work to where I can screen share. But I'll get it all figured out. I'm still new to this. Okay, let's see here. We have been going over food and things like that. And once again, anybody that doesn't have any long-term stuff, I definitely recommend it. For Patriots is a great company. Little disclaimer, I do not have any affiliation with any company or anything that I might recommend on this. It's just my personal opinion. I've tried their stuff. I enjoy their stuff, and it was decent priced. Let's see here. So how many companies are playing? And it really is that the dollar itself is shrinking. It's not that prices are going up, it's that the dollar is worth less. So it's taking more dollars for it to buy the same materials, to buy the same things. And a lot of it is also just because they're getting away with saying, well, we're going to charge this much. I mean, anybody that's bought any wood or tried to do any construction here recently knows good and well wood was almost as good as gold there for a while. And there definitely wasn't a shortage of it anywhere. But for long-term foods, like I said, you have places like For Patriots. I've shown a couple of times now, some canning stuff that we've done. Even down to, they're not the greatest in the world, but they are food if you don't have any and you need it. Just a simple old MRE. I mean, like it or not, it's still food. Comes with a heating packet in there to heat the food up and stuff like that. Anyone that's served can tell you about actual MREs. These here, I think, are a little more of a newer, more gourmet version of what the military uses. But Mountain House is great as well. Farmer's Son, I actually showed a few packages of that just a few moments ago. And places like Walmart usually have them on hand. We also talked about Artisan Foods, which Walmart usually has as well. Then on top of that, let's see here, Amazon is what it was, I think, is kind of promoting Artisan right now. I could be wrong on that, but every time I brought it up and kind of searched for emergency foods, they were one of the more first ones to come up. And the prices are a lot better than some of the others. And I've looked through and seen a lot of the taste testing stuff to where, it's not the absolute best tasting stuff, but the gourmet stuff you have to pay a whole lot more for as well. But it is up there in the top when it comes to taste as well. So, you're paying a lower price and getting a great taste. It's a company that I would definitely recommend. I have not tried it yet, but first chance I get, I am going to get a package of it and I'm going to try it as well. But and not only having stuff set back, but a way to replenish what you have as well is a huge thing. So whether it be gardening or learning hunting and trapping skills, going fishing. Anybody that follows Prepper Tribe's channel knows good and well that, the man is a big time on fishing. And with where he's at, I can't blame him. I definitely would recommend, it's for the calories that you're going to burn in the long run overall. If you really come down to a bad situation, fishing is probably going to be one of the better ways to replenish a meat source. So I would recommend anybody going ahead and getting out there and just getting a pole. It's usually very peaceful, a nice time to just kind of reflect and chill out and just have a great time. So, but when it comes to farming and, just gardening in general, if you have a 1 foot square space, whether it be a patio, just anywhere, then you can grow something. And if you think you're going to kill it, that's fine. Anybody that's out there that shows all these great gardens and, just these phenomenal plants and then try to tell you that they've never killed anything is a liar. And I'll flat out say it. Because anybody that's put any time into gardening or trying to grow stuff, it never goes exactly as you planned. It can go really great, but it'll never go exactly as you planned. And you always learn something every time. And learning something is also the most important thing. There, unfortunately, is a lot of those channels out there that go ahead and go on out there, and they will actually the day before and say hit up, Lowe's or something like that, and buy all these really cool plants, and then shoot the footage saying this is my nice garden, and then you never really see them come back and try to talk about it. Now, earlier this year, I started what I was originally going to do with my spring garden. Things didn't work out. I ended up having beans growing actually in my living room before it was all said and done. And then I went ahead and let the stuff die off because things didn't work out the way I wanted to be putting them outside. But thankfully, everything is going to work out here in the next month to where fall garden into winter is going to be working the way we want to, and we will be doing that. Now, let's see here. I think I missed a couple people while I was on that. We got Tupac in the house. What is going on, brother? Let's see here. I see Number One Thug, and I think that's everybody I missed. If there's anybody I missed, I do apologize beyond that. I'm not seeing it, so. But there are definitely, if you get the chance, go into the the description. I have left some channels in there that are the first set are more towards the financial and the stacking standpoints on trying to go ahead and be a little more prepared in things and some decent ideas and stuff. A couple of the channels can be a little more on the extreme side sometimes in their views, but I mean, they still give out great information and a little bit to get you thinking as well. And I think that's most important nowadays, like I said, is to get everybody thinking. We need to think for ourselves. That's what they don't want. They don't want us thinking for ourselves. They want us to say, yes, sir, no, sir, and do what we're told. But something I'm actually really excited about, and of course, I do not, once again, no affiliation, not trying to upsell their book or anything, but a channel I have followed for years now. And of course, I only started this channel here this past year, so if you look back, it's not going to reflect how long I've been following a lot of these different people that I do nowadays. But it's Roots and Refuge. It's Roots and Refuge Farm, actually, is what the channel name is. But if you just type in Roots and Refuge, it'll pop up. And the person whose channel it is Jess and her family. And great, absolutely great family. Not just her immediate family, but her extended family and stuff like that. She is. I am so glad she is surrounded by as many great people as what she is. I mean, she's an honest, good person. But I would definitely recommend getting over there and checking them out. The thing I'm excited about is I get to read this. I finally got a hold of one of these. This is her book. So this is going to be really cool. Another set of books that I would recommend that I've gotten quite a bit back that my wife got for me, actually, for Christmas, of all things. It started out with this one here, The Backyard Homestead. And this one is, let's see here, it says who it's edited by, but it says edited by Caroline McGideon. I may be saying that name incorrectly, but this one goes over from having acres down to having less than an acre and everything you could stuff into it, from how to make your own bread, making ice cream, cheese, what to do with animals, when to plant stuff, how to rotate your plants. This is a great book, but this is actually a set of books. Beyond that, there is this one here. Once again, The Backyard Homestead, but kitchen how-tos. So anything you grow or any animals, this is, basically a recipe book for the most part. Just full of information, and a lot of information that we've kind of lost over the years. Because if you really think about it, how many out there watching right now, how many of y'all had parents or grandparents that were a lot more self-sufficient? You know, they made their own bread. They made, you know, maybe even their own butter, or just, you know, relatively simple things that we don't even think about anymore. You know, how many uh, how many of us were, well, I never actually had brand new clothes growing up. You know, all mine were always fixed. You know, so I mean, you think about that nowadays, and a lot of stuff, we throw so much stuff away and just go out and get some new stuff instead of just fixing what we have or taking care of the problem and saving that money. Maybe putting that money into, well, then we come back around to the stacking community. Maybe put it into silver and gold or some other solid investments, you know, that are going to gain what they gain their value in time, whether it be land or, you know, actual solid investments. So, I mean, we all could be a lot more frugal out there, I guess would be my point in that. Me too, brother. I never had anything new. My cousin was literally about a month older than I, and they were always, I don't necessarily want to say better off, but they were always passing stuff down our way. So, I mean, that's just how it was. But in the mindset of thinking that I don't want to be that way, we also spend a lot more money on stuff that we really don't have to spend it on. You know, and I think we could all do that and be a little better off. And with the way things are turning out these days, I think it would be that'd be a great mindset to maybe get into again. You know, how long can we make something last? How long can we stretch this out? You know, I mean, just little things. Like I said, you know, we take so much for granted these days. Sorry, I'm reading chat as well and trying to keep up with it here. But yeah, city prepping is definitely one to follow as well. Like I said, all the prepping channels, the homesteading community as well. You know, like I said, unfortunately, it's YouTube. You're going to come across people that aren't going to be the greatest people out there. You know, there's going to be some that have nefarious intent, you know, on whatever they're doing. But I mean, for the others, everybody's always, you know, for the most part that I've seen in all these different communities, are extremely respectful, extremely kind, and are there to try to help others. And we need a lot more of that these days. You know, there's so much information out there that all of us in our different communities are focused in on, but we're all about being ready for what comes next. Now, nobody's going to see what comes next, so that's going to be part of it. Try to be ready for a little bit of anything, adapt and overcome. And anybody that's military, especially Marines, knows exactly what I mean there. Now, in saying that, don't ever get me wrong on that. I have never served in my life. I should have. I regret never doing that, but I will never, ever try to take any false valor or anything like that. And, well, anybody that does, they better they better not cross me on that. I don't take that very kindly. I had many people in my family that did serve and served for long times, and some that are still at this point. But folks, we are over an hour. We are going to keep trying to do this every Thursday, and I'm going to be doing a lot more lives. And hopefully, once I get all this StreamYard stuff figured out, because I still do not understand as to why it would not let me bring that up earlier. I had it set up last week to where it did just what I needed it to. But I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. I want to thank every last one of you for joining us today. And like I said, definitely kick down in the description. Check out anybody that's been in the, you know, the comments here, you know, talking and everything else. the chat. Definitely get over and check them all out. Everybody's got a little something that they can give to someone can learn. But let's see here. Tupac has his 1K goal going on the 30th. So anybody that has not been over there yet to check him out, definitely get over there. I know the 500 was, well, more than 1 day worth of craziness. So definitely get over there and check him out. I'm going to give another shout out once again to Mad Stacker. Anybody that has had his channel in the past that they've been sub to, he finally got tired of it. Finally got tired of YouTube messing him around, started the new channel, the Maddest Stacker, down in the description below. I believe if I did not, then I screwed up, and I will have to try to fix that. But definitely get over and check out the Maddest Stacker as well. Anybody that does not know yet, I'm actually coming up on my 500 subscriber giveaway. I've got the video out as well already. So go over there and leave a comment and all that. Try to get a shot in on something over there just for the heck of it. We've got a little bit of silver we're already giving away and some copper. But alrighty, folks. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut it right there. I definitely appreciate everybody being here today. And we're going to start making this a lot more of a thing. And I hope to catch you all out there. We will catch you around. Peace.